Okay, here I am. Here again. Um, so I was watching a cooking video, and the guy in the video made a ramen burger. Uh, so that got me thinking, what the heck? Have, it, have I never heard of this? Is this a thing? I went and looked it up. It's a thing. Recipe seems real simple. I don't have a reference recipe that I'll be pulling up during the. I'm gonna be flying by the seat of it. Let's I got this light on. A little bit lit. There we go. Um, so I've got some ingredients here. I didn't want it to just be a ramen burger. I looked it up, and it seems like people are missing the gist of it. It's just the basic concept is it's a burger, and the buns are made out of ramen noodles, instant ramen noodles. But people are just making a regular burger, so like any old hamburger, but with ramen noodle buns. I feel like you're missing a chance to do a whole thing with it. So I'm going to try to make a ramen burger that has the ramen like profile to it. And I figure if I'm making a fun burger, I may as well make a fun side to go with it. So I picked up a Daikon, uh, the the massive Daikon radishes. This is the smallest one they had. The larger ones were several inches longer, at least. And I'm going to try to make fries out of that thing. Now, I did look up a brief reference recipe for that because I'm going to do them in the oven and I need to look up the temperature. Can't really wing that. You end up burning it or not cooking it or something like that. Although you can eat daikon raw, so I suppose I could just wing it, but I looked up a temperature for that. That's all I looked at. I've got no reference recipe. We are flying blind, free and clear. We're just going to do it and see what happens. Um, and a couple of you may have heard tell, if you come in, I've got a couple of, well, I won't mention that. We'll mention it if it happens, rather than pre-mention it. So never mind about that. If nothing happens, then no worries. Uh, I should also mention that I'm working on I run a cable from the router in the other room over here. So I'm on a wired connection, which hopefully will give me a lot of stability rather than having to push this through the Wi-Fi. Um, but when I plugged it in, I noticed that there's some kind of instability in all of the plug inputs on that side of the computer. So if I jostle it, they might interrupt briefly. Hi, welcome in. I'm giving giving a sort of long-winded intro, couching myself in my connection woes. I'm gonna have to get in there and poke around again. Um, uh, did you see me hold up the Daikon? Here, I'll hold up the Daikon again. I got a Daikon. They're big. This is the smallest one they had. Uh, and it's I'm gonna have to think of something else to do with Daikon because it's quite the large thing. Um, I don't know why I spend all this time setting up this pre-show screen. I've got a pre-show screen here. This is what it looks like right now. Got it all set up. But then as soon as I start talking, that disappears. Um, as always, let me know about the sound because I'm hearing different than what you're hearing. Uh, But we've got some steps to do here. I'm going to start by preheating the oven. Before I preheat the oven, I'm going to start by moving the oven rack back to the middle position. My head is low for something else. Then we'll preheat it to 475, which is the only thing I looked up, which was the oven temperature for doing Daikon fries. And then I didn't write down a plan for this. I probably should have done that, like step by step, since I'm not following the recipe. Let's see. The noodles are gonna need to be cooked and then cooled enough that I can mix some binder into them. So I'm going to do that next. And a small pot. So I'm just doing minced ramen noodles on the stove. There they are. Like, I'll move them to the front. Move them to the front. Not that you're going to want to see them. It's just going to be some boiling ramen noodles. But get in the habit of doing things on that burner. Now, I don't have the right flavor. I'm going to... The idea of Echo. I have an Echo. Why do I have an Echo? Close that. Is it an echo like a repeating sound, or is it an echo like I'm in an echoey room? I haven't changed any settings from last week.
Did that do? My music just died when I changed that.
Cancel that change. Does it sound clear? Okay, okay, but when I changed that setting,
That. But why can't I hear the music now? Can you still hear the music? Okay, you're getting the music. Why am I not getting the music? Half the point of having the music was so that I could also listen to the music while we're doing this. So I'm clear now. Let me test. If I stand over here, am I still clear? Because the idea is I should be clear everywhere because the input should be the little mic attached to the headset. So what it was doing was it was picking up the audio from the desktop. Again, then I get sound input. Okay. So the OBS defaulted to picking up the sound on the desktop sound. No, I got to solve this, and it's helpful to have somebody here that I can talk to while I'm solving it because I can't hear your end, so I can't do it entirely. Things are just heating up. We're fine. It's super helpful to have somebody. So, okay, so that. So, am I extra loud compared to the music? Because now I'm seeing like my mic says it's peeking into the red a little bit. What the heck? Okay, so well, I've got the sound working on your end, but I can't. Why isn't it also? This is the trouble with all this stuff, is that the sound systems are so hard to futz with by yourself. Because the sound that's going out through the broadcast and the sound that I'm hearing on my end are not the same sound. Well, this is a wee bit irritating. I wonder if, oh my god, I never bothered to check the past couple of weeks when I had the headset. I wonder if it was picking up my. No, it couldn't have been because I walked to the other room and people could hear me. Okay, bear with me. I'm gonna make changes to stuff and see if I can get it to. Well, it sounds good to you, but it doesn't sound good to me. Just Googling here. can see my water starting to bubble there in the middle. Well, oh my god. Well, these need to go. So, putting them in my ramen noodles. I have chicken flavor here, but I'm not using the chicken flavor packet. I have some old beef flavor packet. That we're going to end up using for the flavoring part, but I'm not putting it in the noodles. The noodles are just going to end up cooking, and then they need to cool down before I can get at them anyway. So this is fine. That volume says it's all the way up. That volume. Let's put 3 minutes on my timer, since I'm obviously distracted. That's connected. That's connected. Oh, I'm sure this is riveting viewing. Me trying to solve audio issues live on the air. That's just great. Let me walk over here. Can you still hear me? I can't see the screen, so I'm gonna have to walk back. I'm in the other room. I'm in the next room over. I should be well within range of the Bluetooth. But since I'm carrying the mic with me, I shouldn't have any loss of signal. And I'll come back. Hey, Felix. Okay, so near as I can tell, somehow OBS decided to switch from my headset microphone back to my PC's built-in microphone. And I've now got it switched to the headset microphone correctly, so it'll stay there. But when I did that, it immediately stopped playing the music. For me, you guys can hear it. I can't hear it, and I wanted to hear it. So I don't understand what's happening. Because I didn't change the channel, the audio channel that the music is in at all. And the computer tells me that it's playing the music and that it's using the headphones as the output device and that the volume is all the way up. So, and I didn't. So I'm a little frustrated right now because now it's just super quiet in here for me. That's 3 minutes on the ramen. Turn that off and drain it. in our handy little colander. Thank you. Okay. That's got to cool off a bit before I can add the egg to it, or it'll just scramble. I'm going to put it in a bowl to be ready for that point, though. Oh, should have been prepping stuff. Wow. I have heard that any question involving audio, the words audio and Windows, has no answer. And it appears that that may, in fact, be so. Okay, I'm going to carry on, but if I have a downtime moment, I'm going to try to revisit this and try to fix this, because I don't see how I can resolve it, without someone on the other end hearing it to give me feedback. Let's get us back over to the countertop. Still futzing with this camera a bit, but that I can do on my own. That's not so much a problem. So I want a little bit of Daikon to put on the burger itself, and then a bigger chunk to turn into fries. So I'm thinking about that much. My camera slid down a little bit there. And we'll peel, that's just dirt on the outside, we'll peel that off. So I'm gonna take the tip off of this thing, and then go up about that far, and that section's gonna be my fries. And I guess I'm gonna grate a little bit of that for a topping. Oop, I switch that screen back over so I can see the chat. Where's my peeler? Where's my peeler? Peeler. The skin is edible on a Daikon, but it's also where the dirt is, so I'm going to go ahead and just take the thinnest little sheet off the outside. So I don't have to worry about giving it a thorough washing to get all the little bits off the outside. My oven preheated in all that time, futzing with the audio as well. I've gotten used to having the music playing, and now I can't hear it, and it's throwing me off. So I'm cutting these into approximate fry shapes. Because I want to have French fries. I'll need to get a bowl out for these as well. Daikon is one of those things that whenever I have it, I really like it. And then I forget about it, and then I don't have it. I need to remember that it's a thing that I can go back to. more often. Here, fries. They're a little skinny, but that's fine. Making like a skinny little McDonald's fry, but out of a radish. And a couple of these little slivers are going to be too small, and I'll just snack on them instead. Boy, I like Daikon. I should get these more often. Things are great. Okay, they need to go in a bowl as well. A bowl as well. Picking through them to make sure I'm not putting any of the little tiny slivers in there, because those will just burn. We're not doing deep fry, because I've deep fried a few things recently, and it's fun, and I like the results, but it's also a lot of a cleanup. So I'm only doing deep frying sometimes. Okay, those guys need some oil. About, I don't know, enough to coat them. A couple tablespoons, not a ton. The oil is important for baking off things like this because it gives a more even heating surface, preventing them from just burning. Oil is a thermal conductor. That's why we use it so much in cooking. Of course, I got oil on my hands now, so I got to wash those off. I'm gonna add a little bit of flavor now that I've got them oiled. I'll salt them after the fact. I don't think I want them to be completely just bare. So I'm gonna grab my recently cleaned mortar and pestle there. Walk over to my dried chili pepper stash and grab a small one. I'm gonna crush her up. A little bit of that. I'm gonna throw a little bit of granulated dehydrated onion in there. A little bit of garlic powder. We don't want a ton of any of this stuff. But it's going to add some dimension to our finished product here. Get that in there. Oop, it all stuck to the side. That's what I get for using a freshly washed instead of thoroughly dried mortar and pestle. Ooh. Well, let me know how they turn out. Oh, that does sound good. I'm going to add, now that I've got them oiled with the regular oil, I'm also going to add just a dash of sesame oil. And we're going to toss. Ooh, sesame oil. Okay. Small sheet and some aluminum foil. We got to get these guys on the go because they are going to take the most time, aside from the ramen, which is now warm to the touch. And this is what I've got the timer set out for as well. Just make sure they're sort of separated. Yeah. I should do that in the middle. So these guys are just going on a baking sheet. They're well oiled. Halfway through cooking, they're going to get tossed around a bit because they won't brown evenly if they all just sit on the same side the whole time. And I'll be keeping an eye on them because I've never done them before, so I don't want to turn them into little charcoal sticks. That would be less than ideal. My oven is preheated, so we'll get those in there. The simple little recipe I glanced at for them is $4.75 for 40 minutes. Tossing halfway through. So I'm going to set a 20-minute timer. And then we'll toss them around when they come out. Let's get that bowl out of the way. Nothing to see over there at the minute. Let's switch to this one with little insets so I can wave at you. So I want all the elements of a hamburger, but I want them to be ramenized. So for the onion, because I want like a burger with toppings, we're going to use green onions, which I'm going to, I think, we're not just going to like mince them up. I'm going to do them in like big pieces. So there's like big crunchy pieces on there. I want some greens on my burger, but I'm not doing lettuce. I'm going to take the leaves off of. I got one baby bok choy. I'm going to take the leaf part off, and I might do a quick like sear on it. But the leafy green part is going to be the top one of these, one or two of these. I've already got some Kewpie mayonnaise. You can't see it. Got the little baby on it, but it blends in perfectly well. Hoisin sauce in place of ketchup. And then I'm going to I've got ground beef. It's going to be an actual burger inside this thing, hamburger. But I'm going to flavor the hamburger with the packet of the flavor that goes with the ramen, which is a bit of a cheater thing, but I'm going for that kind of flavor profile. There's also, you typically see a bowl of ramen with eggs in it. I'm not going to put actual egg on the burger, but you put egg in these guys to bind them. So that's going to give you a little bit of that egginess. And I'm really kind of flying by the seat of my pants here, so I think I'm going to grate part of the end of this daikon. Put that on there. I've got some. I tried making this myself once in the past, and it's really fiddly. So I just picked up some store-bought pickled ginger. That's going to take place of my pickle, and it's important to get these kind of fresh and acidic and bright flavors on here because the burger part is going to be obviously greasy burger meat. And the way you turn these into a bun is they have to be fried after having some egg in them. And that's going to be a bit of an adventure too, because I couldn't find a ring mold, so I'm going to have to make my own ring mold out of tinfoil. I mean, I hope my pants don't fly too much, because that might get me terms of service on Twitch here. But I truly have no recipe this time. Not even a side reference. Often I'll have a side reference where I'll just like be glancing over at it. I got nothing. So all the ramen burgers that I found while just reading about it were just boring, ordinary like American hamburgers, but with noodle buns. And I'm not sure. Here's a question. Because I got two ways I could do the burger. I could do a nice big, like, thick, standard burger, or I could try smash burgers. I feel like I might get... I've never done smash burgers. And I worry I might not know what I'm doing. So a lot of these... Well, I should hear it. This is cool enough to touch pretty readily. So I'm going to start... The noodles are the bun. Here, I'll move on to that step right now. The concept that I'm working off of the ramen burger is a hamburger that instead of a bread bun has two pucks of ramen noodles serving as the bun. And I did not invent this, but I'm trying to improve upon it. So, I can do that with a smaller bowl. I'm going to lightly beat this egg in this bowl. I wish I'd come up with this. This is such a cool idea. But it's so hard to catch the actual bleeding edge. So this has to be cool enough, because I want to eat it like a burger, so I want to hold it. So this is going to have to end up being... I want it warm, but it's got to be cool enough to pick up like a burger bun. Oh, Tiny Whisk. Tiny Whisk is here to beat my one egg. Which is perfect, because I only need one egg. It didn't even occur to me that star of our show had arrived. I think I want to add a little bit of cornstarch, just to strengthen the binding a little bit. Not too much. This is my 1 teaspoon. Beat a single egg. Oh yeah, Felix followed me, I saw. But I have a Twitter now for this channel. Where I intend to, starting this week, I created it last week, but I didn't actually use it for anything. I intend to use it, A, for announcements when I go live, because it's a nice sort of centralized place that I can do that. Eventually, maybe I'll get a bot that can do it for me, so I don't have to manually do my live announcements. I know you can do that, but I haven't bothered to look into any bots. But also pictures of my creations, both on the show and ones that I do in between. I'll be throwing them up there. So, because at the moment, what I typically do is why did I put that over there? What I typically do now is post them into specific Discord channels. But if you're not in those specific Discord channels, you don't get to see the end results so much. But if I put them on Twitter, and I suppose I could do an Instagram as well. I haven't bothered to set up an Instagram, but oop. Okay, waited just a teeny bit too long here because the noodles have firmed up.
All right. I'll tell you the truth.
Okay, we're getting them well coated. This should be plenty of noodles for making top bun and bottom bun. Now, I went looking. I was out looking for a ring mold today. And the only ones I could find were for eggs, for like an individual egg. And they're just so small. For something like this, I'd be struggling to get my project inside the ring mold. But since I don't have a ring mold, I'm going to have to figure some way out, because otherwise they're just going to be a mess. They're going to fall all over the place. Instead of have that nice shape. So we're going to do it manually. I wish I had a piece of cardboard. That'd be like a little strip of cardboard I turn into a circle and then wrap around it. That'd be the way to do it. Hold on, let me walk to the other room here and see if I got any old pieces of like cardboard I could use as a mold. I don't know. I think I'm just going to. I've got the big aluminum foil. This is the big aluminum foil. I'm going to take a piece of that and just turn it into a circle. So you may remember I've recently come into possession of a wok that I used last week to make orange chicken. Well, in the intervening time, I have given myself a new project and then abandoned that project already. Because I found let me show you. I found this. It's a, wok scooper. The problem is that it's got no handle. So I started on a project to fix the scooper with a handle. And in the intervening time, I did end up using it once in the wok. And what I discovered is it's very bendy. Problematically bendy. So I think I'm going to abandon trying to fix it with a handle and just call it a loss. It was only $1. I got it at the Goodwill. I just got a random friend request from someone I've never heard of, so I think I'm going to ignore that. How big is a burger bun? It's like that big? It's about that big, I think. This is easily adjustable. Maybe I should make the burger like form the patty, and then I can adjust to that. Let's do that since this seems like it's pretty easily adjustable. It's not like I'm on a real time crunch here. Once things cook, they're going to go real quick. So let's move up to the next stage of life with another bowl and my ground beef. As usual, my meat has come from the discount meat at the grocery store. So this one is, in fact, ground round. But I'm sure it's fine. I know there's a philosophy around which specific cuts are for which specific. I close that. Specific application. I don't remember what the ideal ones for burgers are. Let's throw the whole thing. So the beef flavor packet, that I'm adding to my beef, is pretty much salt, MSG, and a little bit of like garlic and onion and stuff. I could add more of any of those to the burger as well. There's probably going to be enough here to make more than one burger, but I'm only planning on making one for myself. So there'll be a leftover. I'll make two. We'll serve whichever one's the better one, and they'll have a leftover for whatever. I know you're not supposed to like overly salt your meat before you cook it. That's something that the chefs are always like, don't pre-salt your meat. But whatever. Also not supposed to work it too much, so I'm just trying to get it until I don't see any more brown spots from where the flavor dust there mixed into it. If you overwork your meat, the proteins toughen up, and you end up with unpleasant texture in the final burger. You want to just incorporate your ingredient, and then shape it. So let's shape it. Just making a hamburger, no? Ground beef in an approximate circle, and then you put a dimple in the middle, so that as it shrinks up, it doesn't turn into a little softball or a meatball. I should not put it directly on that. I'm planning on using that for other vegetables in not too long a time. So gotcha. Okay. Got our one-handed plate. Trying to make these kind of the same size. Looks like we're getting... If I do it like that, then this one's going to be extra small. So let's pull a piece of that one off. Reshape it. And make this one a little bit bigger. Yeah. That looks about right. I think that's the nicest one. Obviously, I didn't add a ton of the flavor packet to these because there's one little flavor packet for the whole pound. But the flavor packet's a pretty potent little thing. So I don't think I needed to have added a lot. Still think that's the nicest one, even after futzing with that one. Let's wash my hands. I think I'm going to do those in my cast iron when I get that far. Oh, shoot. That's my timer going off. Thank you, timer. Stop dingling. Open. Pull out. Let's get us over to the stove. See how these guys look. They're a little saggy. They're definitely browning on the bottoms. This is... We're going to toss them around instead of individually flipping them. That will be easier. That guy has gone super floppy. So they're browning where they're in direct contact with the metal, because the metal is obviously the most thermally conductive thing in here. So the bottoms would burn if I just left them completely still. Also making only enough of these for one serving. I would say if you're making those, do a bigger batch. I think they would hold up pretty well if I did the whole Daikon, or even a larger Daikon. I think it would be easier to toss them around. You know, if you've got an air fryer, I bet you those would go great in the air fryer. Because then you could pull the basket out and give it a toss without having to futz with it like I just did there. What's going to be the best pan to do the ramen pucks in? I'm worried about sticking because of the egg. So I'm not going to do that in my cast iron. I'm going to do it in a nonstick. I'm going to make the nonstick large enough What am I saying? I don't know where this sentence is going. I don't know where that sentence was going, so I'm going to abort that sentence. The nonstick's size is irrelevant to this project. Let's get out. First of all, I'm going to want some oil. Not a ton of oil, but enough to coat the bottom. Of where I'm going to put the thing. And then I've got my nonstick spray. I'm going to use it on the inside of the ring. Because again, I'm a little concerned about it trying to stick to itself. Should have kinked it on that side. Put a little kink in it, and it really immediately tried to let go of the kink. And then I'm going to take half my noodles. Well, let's get it warmed up first. Before I throw half my noodles in there, let's get it warmed up first. Since the noodles are fully cooked, they don't need to heat through any more. We just need to get the eggs set so they turn into little solid pieces that you can hold with your hands and eat like a hamburger. Yeah. So that's warming up. I'm going to take us back over here. And I'm going to prep a couple more ingredients just while I'm waiting. I'm not using the whole... Normally, the stem part is the best part of the baby bok choy. But since I want this to be my stand-in for a lettuce, and that's just about the right size, how does bok choy taste raw? Well, it tastes pretty damn good, actually. That being the case, I'm not going to cook that at all. That's done. That ingredient is prepped. These guys. I don't know if I want both of them. I got out 2 just in case. I'm going to do a... I'm going to fry them off. They're not just going to be raw green onions on top of my burger. But they're going to be in long pieces. I'm going to split this guy lengthwise. We're going to end up searing the inside of him on the pan. And then I will use it as a rough guide for taking the crusty ends off and leaving myself a appropriate length for each piece. So those guys will get a quick treatment in the pan. Yeah, split those. Split the top ones as well. I'm going to give them a quick treatment in the pan on something hot. Probably do it in the cast iron one in the burger pan. That's probably enough, honestly. I don't want to overwhelm this thing. The end of the... See, the pickled ginger's already ready. The condiments are just going to be condiments. I've got sesame seeds. I could make a sesame seed bun, which is fun. I'm almost out of these things. Bamboo smoked black sesame seeds. I've had them for ages, and I use them a surprisingly large amount. But you only use a little bit at a time, so this container has lasted me years. And they come in different flavors. They got a green one that's wasabi. They got a red one that's got something red on it. It's fun. But I'm going to try to get these to stick to one side of my bun. That is going to end up being the top side, so that I can have a sesame seed bun for my ramen burger. Because I'm trying to be cute and clever. This is hot enough that I'm going to go ahead and do the thing. We're just going to get them in there. Okay. Get them in there. My ring has immediately attempted to open itself up. So we're going to have to hold the ring while I squish this guy down. Ah! Okay, this ring has not performed extremely well. Well, hopefully that is good enough. Oh, naughty me. I was on the wrong screen for that. That guy's going to be the bottom bun, I think. Let's shoot the top of it with some nonstick spray for when I flip it over. Hopefully this works. If it doesn't work, it's not a huge loss, because it doesn't take that long to make ramen noodles. So I can try again if this is a total failure. But here's hoping. And just skate around in the. Oh, I should have salted that a little bit. Probably. Probably. There's plenty of salt. I'm not sure how to gauge it's done this. I'm pretty much just setting egg. So if I take the ring off, because now it's in the shape, put that over on the sink. I should be able to peek at the bottom. This is the most unknown part for me. Of all the things I'm doing for this is the most unknown part, is making these little pucks. I'm gonna put a few things away. You know, this would be a time. Well, except I want to keep an eye on it. This would be a time to fiddle with my audio again. Put a few of our things away. Give my knife a few strokes on the old honing steel before I put it away, so that when I inevitably forget to do that next time I try to use it, it's already been done. Just taking a chance to put a few dishes away from the previous wash, and then I will be able to wash up some of the things I've got going as I go. So far, we haven't produced a ton of dishes. I can show you how I do proper honing steel. Also, welcome in. I don't often see you here, Saizan, on the old Tuesday. Audio. Well, I mean, we discussed this. The audio sounds good on your end, but I can't hear the music, and I don't know why. And that's the problem I want to solve. Hey, that's looking like a thing. Here's my technique for honing steel. Let's pull up the big camera. So here's the steel. Here's the knife. So I put one finger on the side of the knife like that to stabilize it, and then you wanna draw it in the direction that you're cutting. So get my backlight off there. So I do it like this, and then the bottom of the blade touches the bottom of the honing edge, or the honing surface, and then the tip of the blade touches the tip of the honing surface. And you just do that, like so. And you do a number of strokes in one direction, and then you switch to the bottom and do it upward. The safe way to do it is to take the stick, hold it this way, and plant the tip, and then do the same motion where you're sort of drawing along the thing, but with the tip planted on your cutting board, so that if you slip, this doesn't go anywhere. The knife goes straight into your cutting board instead of anywhere else. It makes it super safe. Here, I'll switch to my countertop. So I don't have an angle for this, but if you plant the tip on your cutting board, do the same thing where you start the heel of the blade right at the top of the cutting surface, and then you slide downward. And it ended up going a bit slower this way, but that's fine. The speed has nothing to do with the effectiveness of the hone. And you do it both ways. And you do it, I like to do it depending on how sharp the blade already is. 10, 10, 5, 5, 3, 3, and then 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. You want to do it an even amount on each side. But I do it holding it up these days typically, because I've gotten pretty decent at just doing it on the fly, like so. It took me a while to figure this out, because when you watch chefs do it, they do it so fast you can't see what the heck's going on, and it's a pain. And then the official technique is to do this with the planted thing, and you can do that, but it's not the quickest. For when you just want to, oop. Well, that side's looking nicely golden brown. Let's use the brown plate because everything's going to be kind of white. Oops. Back to the stove. Okay, this guy's coming off. That way around. Okay. Now this time, I'm going to make this ring not fall apart on me. But yeah, I'm glad to be able to give you some useful advice in the old cooking show. That's part of the point. And welcome in. You hardly ever get to see you on a Tuesday. We've been having audio issues all day. Well, I've been having audio issues, as Bookwoman keeps pointing out. You guys can hear it perfectly fine. Whatever's happening on my end is happening entirely on my end. Let's get a dab more oil in the middle of that guy. Oop, okay, more than a dab. Let's get a glug more oil in the middle of that guy. Skate him around a little bit. Ooh, that one's got a much harder sizzle going on right off the bat. But yeah, I'm super glad to help anyone, and asking questions is also helpful for being able to produce content, because then I can have something to talk about instead of just narrating what you can already see. Okay, this guy's going to be my top bun, so I'm going to do my sesame seed sprinkle here. A lot of sesame seeds because they've got a nice sort of rich, dark, smoky flavor from being bamboo smoked sesame seeds. We've got just a minute. The finished bun is got a little bit of bounce to it. It's got a nice sort of firm crust on the outside. I can pick it up with one hand. But it's still got a little bit of bounce to it. Some of the noodles escaped the edges, but it's definitely solid enough to pick up. So I think it's a success in terms of that. I just touched my camera. I hope that wasn't a loud oof sound. There's just a minute left on the Daikon. Oh, no! Well, I got distracted. Oh, no. Oh, no! Well, these came out kind of black. This one still looks okay on the top. Oh no. Well, it wasn't your fault. I've got a timer going and they haven't even hit the end of their timer. Oh no. Let me take one and see what they taste like. Yes, thank you, timer. It tastes fine. It's kind of more chewy than Fry Crispy anyways, so I'm not sure that those were a success. Ooh, they're spicy too, dang. Yeah, 40 minutes was too long. Probably should have knocked 10 minutes off of that. And then you could have added more as I was going. I think I can pull the, well, the fries have not been a success. I could try them again. I don't have a lot of time now. I've already been at this for an hour 20. 20 minutes of which was dealing with sound issues. So let's move you to the sink so that I can move you to the back corner. Get the plate off of there for now. I could do them raw on the side. Since this pan is hot, it's got oil in it, I could try pan frying some of them just to get like a browned exterior. That wouldn't take super long. This is a hot pan. Let's see what the bottom of this guy looks like. Oh. I dropped it, but that's fine. It was fine. I dropped it, but it still worked. I'm going to add just a smidge more oil. The noodles, I think, have been soaking up some of the oil because I've been losing my oil in the pan. So yeah, I've still got more Daikon. These things are huge. So I've still got more Daikon. I can try another section with the next piece and just do them in this pan. Just real quick on the side here. We still have to do the burgers. So while the pan for the burgers is heating up, I can try that in the back burner. These guys... That one's... Oh my god. Okay, well, can you see what they look like? No, because they're black. Some of them are black all the way through. Some of them have a little bit of not black in the middle. Oh, they taste terrible. They taste acrid, like burned. Okay, well, that's a loss. That's half the fun here, too, is just fly by the seat of your pants. Oh, they're spicy, too. Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't think these are salvageable at all. They're way too spicy. And they're also super burned, so... Let's just dump the whole shebang. Set this pan over here to cool. Okay. Well, I want to do a Daikon French fries, so I'm going to do a different kind of Daikon French fries instead. Let's see what the top of this guy looks like. Ooh. So this is what the top of this guy looks like. He's holding together, except for a few little stray strands on that side there. Is this camera too dark? I could turn up the brightness on the camera if any of you think it's too dark. I think it's keying off of all of this white surface and is like adjusting the gain. I added a Thai chili to my seasoning. The spice is entirely my own fault. The Daikon itself is very mild. The heck was that? Oh. Oh. Okay. Stuff's collapsing in the background. No, when I turn this light on, it brightens up the stovetop a little bit, but it super washes out this the main camera. I can try it on if you like. It does brighten this up a little bit. This guy's got to come off of here because he's going to start burning if I don't. Take a peek at them. This is the camera I have the most problems with. There they are. We'll get proper pictures of this on the Discords and on my brand new Twitter channel that you should be following. For updates and pictures. Okay. So I actually picked up a new cast iron pan that I will not be using today because I have not had a chance to strip the old crappy, I say new, a very old cast iron pan that I found at Goodwill that I have not had a chance to strip the old crap off of, hoping that it will end up being my nicest pan once I do, but it's going to produce a lot of iron dust. So I want to be able to do it outside. I should have done it over this weekend because we had some nice days, and now it's all cold and rainy. Some oil in that one too. Okay. The burner was already on. I turned it off when I switched pans. That burner was already on, so it's not going to take as long for that to heat up. But I still want to make sure that we've got the mass warm before I put the burgers in there. I've got it turned not super hot. I don't want to use that pan with the grill lines in it. That thing is really annoyingly awkward to use. Okay. Well, I guess I'm not going to have a problem using up all this Daikon, since I now have much less of the end of it to work with. Thank you. Wish there was a way. I should get a Y peeler. The peeler that has the blade the other angle. I think it'd be easier for something like this, because I could hold it like. I did turn that off. I thought I forgot to turn the oven off, but nope, the oven is off. Okay. Daikon skinned. We're going to be a little less precise this time with it, I think. Bigger pieces too. Okay. These are now my Daikon fries. They are much larger than they were before. These probably would have been perfect for that 40-minute cook time in the oven. But I'm not going to do another slow bake on them. I'm just going to toss them directly into that pan. Get it back over there. They're going in the pan in the back corner. And they're going to go quick just to get some sort of cooked browning on the outside. This pan is warming up well. Okay. I know what I'm going to use for those. I know exactly what I'm going to use for those. Bamboo tongs. I found a set of really nice bamboo tongs that I have started using for lots of things. They are not just a split piece of bamboo. Let's pull it back up to the camera here. They're not just a piece of bamboo that's split at the end. They're properly hinged so that they can be folded open and cleaned. I got them for $1 at Goodwill. They're super useful for something like this, where I don't want to scratch my nonstick but I need something where I can actually grab and push things around. I've got silicone tongs, but silicone tongs always have the problem of they always make them so big. I got a set of these too, but they're these big things. So they're good for certain stuff, but I just want to sort of push these guys around. So I don't need them to be real big. And in fact, having sort of a nice sort of just flat edge there, I can shove stuff around. It's perfect. These days I find a lot of my cookware at the Goodwill. I'm putting the burgers on that pan. The oil. Ooh, sizzle, sizzle. The oil moves around like water, which is a sign that it is very hot. So that is a sign that the pan is ready to go. And I guess I'm just going to do these approximate doneness. A little bit of extra salt on the top. You know what? These guys... no, we're going to salt the Daikon sticks after cooking to hopefully encourage them to develop more of a crisp on the outside rather than lose moisture. When you add salt to a vegetable that you're cooking, the main thing that happens is that the salt draws moisture out of the vegetable's structure, which makes it softer and also makes it fry less. Because now it starts to steam because it has to boil off that moisture that you've freed. So if you're doing like a mirepoix, where you want the vegetables to cook very slowly, salting them is good for that. Because it helps them steam rather than brown a lot. But if you want your vegetables to cook a little harder and develop more of a brown exterior, don't salt them while they're cooking. That's one of my tips of the day. I don't have a tip of the day, but that could have been a tip of the day. I don't cook burgers a lot either, so so I guess I'm doing a bit of a learn on this one as well. I like burgers, I just don't make them myself. Because I don't know why. Who knows? I should try to figure out this audio problem. This has been bugging me. Like I keep seeing the notifications in the chat of the pretzel bot telling me that the new song is playing, and I'd be like, "Oh, I'd like to hear that song. That'd be neat." I'm gonna have to set aside a time that's just a audio troubleshooting stream where I will have somebody on the other end just listening who can tell me what they're hearing. Oop, okay. Oh, these guys are browning on the outside. Very, very nicely. A couple of them have gone a little bit over. But that's okay. Because they're nice and thick, so they're still going to be Daikon-y on the inside. I'll probably just take those out as soon as they are close, since as we all know, Daikon is perfectly edible just completely by itself. So I don't need to cook them through. I'll probably turn the heat off now. Let's take a look at one of these. Oop, I almost touched the pan. Always remember to not touch the handle of your cast iron, because it's just metal. Hey, that's looking a nice burger. Some of the oil down to that spot there. Hey, those are looking good. Yeah, they're looking nice and crusty. I can hear the crust a little bit. I can feel it with the edge of the spatula. They're looking really good. And welcome in. Let's see if I can say it correctly. Ah la 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 la. Welcome in. We're coming to the late stages of it here. We had a little bit of a failure on the Daikon fries, but I think our replacement set is looking good. They're just... the skinniest one is just softening. So I think that's a good time to stop so that the larger ones still have a nice, fresh, crisp interior. And then we're going to end up doing construction of the finished product over here on the cutting board. And I was going to do a quick... oh, it's going to be real quick. I just had a connection blip. Did any of you see a connection blip on your end? The burgers look really good. I'm very, very pleased. I think the one closest to you guys, that one is going to be the one that ends up on the actual finished product. Okay, well, I'm not sure what that was. I didn't lose my internet line, and I haven't dropped any frames, but my chat said, welcome to the chat room again, as though it disconnected from the chat, so I'm not sure. I think this one, unless this one looks really good when I flip it over again, I think that one's going to be the one that ends up on the finished product. I wanted to do these green onions in a just really quick toast, and I'm worried they might stick here. So I think I'm going to take this out of there. Oh, come on. That one's hard. That one's really hard to grab. We're going to take these out of here so I could use this pan for my onions. Green onions don't... some of these are really hard to grab. Green onions don't take a lot to cook, so they're just going to go in real fast. Let's get the top salted. Let me take a peek at the bottom of that guy. I want to say they're probably just about... Oops. Well, that's why I got an apron on, I guess. Splashed myself a little bit of boiling oil there. Let's flip a touch more cautiously. I'm going to turn the burner off and let them think about residual heat. Let's get us... Well, I'm going to stay on that. That burner, hot. Onion, just long enough to think about what it's doing. The cutting board is already no longer needed, and the knife. Let's get us over here. This is my board in construction. The nicest burger is going on the board, and the other two are going on the extra plate. I can smell the green onion starting to kick up over there. Okay, now we're doing construction. Wow, this looks so washed out over here. Let me drop my brightness. I drop my brightness on this side a little bit so it's not quite so washed out. Okay. Green onion. Which I will arrange artfully. Got our Daikon fries. We will... The whole thing here is quite oily, so we need a decent amount of pickled ginger to kind of offset that. So I'm going to take a couple big sheets of that, just kind of pop them in there. That's also going to give us a little bit of an insulation between that and our... Oh, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to split this guy lengthwise. Our single leaf of baby bok choy. We've got some hoisin sauce, which I'm going to add to the top bun. And some QP mayonnaise that I'm going to add also to the top bun. A little curly Q on the end, I guess. And there we have it. That's my creation for the day. Let's put the lid on artfully. I want a picture of this before I get into it. So I'm going to quickly jump over to my camera spot, which is just around the corner in the other room. Then I'll be right back. and I will give you a cross section. We can cut it right down the middle, give a cross section, and then take a bite. And I'll tell you how it is. And then I'll take some pictures of it, cross sections too. The part about doing a cooking show that I guess I never thought about, but it makes sense in retrospect, is you have to stop when the food is at its prime, ready to be eaten, and not eat it, and take pictures of it and show it off, which is just kind of bizarre, because I kind of, I just made this thing, and I want to dig into it, but then I have to stop and take some pictures of it. I have returned with it. Okay, put the bun on the top, give it a little squishy squish. Ooh, it worked great. It's not super oily to the touch. Just a tiniest little sheen, not like a big oil bath. That's good. We'll give it a cut, if I can. Right down the middle. Pull off one of the sides here. And what does he look like? Ooh, look at that thing. The vegetables all kind of squished flat on the top, so hopefully their flavors are strong enough to come through, because they're not a lot of volume. Wow. There's a lot going on there. The bun is bouncy. Like, it's got that ramen noodle bounce, but it's got a surprisingly amount of crisp to it, because the exterior of the bun is browned to a crisp, and then there's also the vegetables inside have held up a pretty nice crispness as well. It's rich and greasy. Honestly, it could probably use a little bit more pickled ginger to balance it off. But it's not like super heavy. I'm surprised. I thought these buns would end up having a really sort of heaviness to them, but they really don't. Let's try one of these Daikon fries while they're still hot. They did come out a little bit oily. Daikon doesn't have a super strong flavor, so they don't taste incredibly strong. But I got a good crisp on the inside still. They're not a huge failure. I think they would be more interesting if I managed to get them to work in... I left a burner on over there. Fortunately, there was nothing on it. It was just a bare burner. But don't be leaving burners on. They're not a failure. They're not a smashing success. It tastes kind of like Daikon with salt on it. This thing keeps wanting to fall apart, as you can see. The springiness of the buns, quite tall. I am going to want to eat this while it's still warm. So I'm going to wash my hands real quick so I can touch my computer again. We're going to wrap up here, because I would love to take some pictures of the inside of this thing as well, before I tuck in on it. So I'm going to de-oil my hands. We are going to eat it on my own time, but I'm going to do what I should be doing every week. I'm going to raid you along to somebody before I go, rather than just cut it and run. So, if you are interested, stick around for the raid. I was just glancing at my stovetop over there, making sure nothing was burning or on. Let's see who's on my followers list. Well, last week I sent you to Salberry because that was the channel I was going to be watching anyways while I ate. And you know what? I think I'm going to do that again. She's playing Return of the Obra Dinn, which is a fantastic game. It's a grand nautical mystery puzzle game. So we're gonna send the group over there. I'll say hi, how do you do when we get that far. Slash raid. I don't have a raid message, but we can cook one up. Just say hi when you get there. And if you are still here watching me now, oh no, we haven't quite raided 6 viewers. We should come up with a raid message, something to say in chat when we get there. I'm not sure what to say. I don't have a canned raid message. I don't know. Whenever. Tell her about my thing. Here, copy this message. We will copy that when we get there. I will be and if you're still here with me, we're stopping.